So the next problem that we have here is all dice values. And the way that all dice values should work is it should print out D1 and D2, which is dice 1 and dice 2. So it should print out 1, 1, or 1, comma 1, 1, comma 2, 1, comma 3, 1, comma 4, 1, comma 5, 1, comma 6, and then 2, comma 1, and start all over again, right? And how do you do that? Well, we can very easily do this, right? We just have a for loop that starts at 1 and goes to 6, so I guess we can go to 6. And we print out I, right? So that's very simple to do. So why don't we do that first? So we'll have a for loop where it's I is equal to 1 and I is less than 7, I plus plus, and we print I, right? What this is going to do is it's going to print out 1 first, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, right? But we don't want to just print out I. We also want to print out the first I, right? So how does that work? Well, this problem involves what we call a nested for loop. What that is it's a for loop inside of a for loop. Okay, so we'll say for, and actually let's call this one D1. Okay, D1 is equal to 1. And D2 is, I'm sorry, what am I doing here? So while D1 is less than 7, okay, and then D1 plus plus. And this one I'm going to call D2, D2, and D2. So how would this go? Well, it's going to come into the outer for loop, and D1 is going to be equal to 1. And then it's going to come into the inner for loop, and D2 is going to be equal to 1. And then 1 is less than 7. That's true. It prints out D1, comma, D2. Okay. So it's going to come in, and D2 is going to be equal to 1. So the first thing that's printed out is 1, 1. And then it comes back up into this for loop, the inner for loop, because the inner for loop needs to finish before we can come back up and do the D1 plus plus. So it's going to print out D1, D2, which is 1, 1. Then it's going to come back up here. D2 is going to increment to 2, and it's going to print out 1, 2. And then it's going to come back up. It's going to print out 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. Once D2 gets to 6, it's going to come up and increment to 7. 7 is not less than 7. It's going to break, which means we are at the end of the outer for loop, and we come back up and we increment D1, right? So D1 now turns to 2, and D2 is equal to 1, so we print out 2, 1. And then the inner for loop works itself out, prints out 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, and then it breaks, goes into the outer for loop, D1 increments to 3, and so on. And that way we can get all the possible dice values.